what I've done now is popped over to see the sharks, and I've taken a sample of water so I can take it back to Majestic Aquariums and check on the water quality. So anytime you're doing anything new or setting up a new aquarium, something I highly recommend is grab a sample of water and make a little video of the situation. Come down and see us at Majestic Aquariums so we can check over it and give you any advice that you need to make sure that everything's going to work out well for you. Sample of water and a video, away we go. So the shark tank is now in position. The decorations are starting to go back in. This will all be beautifully dressed on the outside. It's got a nice big pool filter here. This will all be enclosed in like a room. And then when it's all done, we can put the sharks back in. So the coral bone on the bottom will become a big part of the biological filtration too, and a big part of the buffering capacity. And now tell me, have you ever seen a protein skimmer dirtier than this? How efficient a skimmer is governed by how regularly it is cleaned. Now the sharks are loving life here in the pool. They've got plenty of room to swim around and they're very happy. So what I'm going to do next is take a water sample down to the shop after I clean the protein skimmer and give the pump a bit of a clean and find out when she's due for a water change. Now after you give a skimmer a major clean, it's really important that you come back and check on it regularly, because if it hasn't been skimming, it will often go nuts. So you want to keep checking on it. Keep it nice and clean. Especially with big animals like that groper in here. Moving animals, particularly large ones like these, you want to make sure that they're purged before you move them. Now in this case, the sharks are currently in the swimming pool, but the tank over there is what we are moving them into, which is currently getting refitted. So we've kept the feeding right down, but what we're going to do is 24 hours before we move the sharks, we're going to give them a good feed so they've got a bit of a belly on them, and then we give them 24 hours in this water. That way they can crap up this water, and that way when we move them into the new tank, they will be all well fed, because we're going to want to keep the feeding a little bit scarce in the new tank, just to make sure that they biologically stabilize. So whenever you move any animals, particularly large ones, you want to be testing their water at least on a weekly basis, preferably a couple of times a week, and you want to be not feeding them if you're seeing any ammonia and nitrite. If you are seeing ammonia and nitrite, you want to increase your water changes, and you can use products like Safe to detoxify it. So far it's all going very well. We need a bit of a top up now. Skimmer was just given a clean, and I just gave the little filter a bit of a clean. It wasn't as dirty as last time. And the main part of the biological filtration here at the moment is all the marine pure all over the floor. So that's giving us all of our good bacteria. So one of the very most important things to assure the survival of these animals is surface agitation. So we've got this pump here, and one of the most important things for me to check every time that I'm here is that that's agitating the surface, because breaking the surface is how I'm going to get all the oxygen in this pond, and these large animals need a lot of oxygen. So the protein skin is certainly going to help. High water quality is certainly going to help, but this here is absolutely crucial. Important for any aquarium or pond at all times. Now I must say that water clarity is actually very good. So the sharks have been in there for a number of weeks now. They haven't had any water changes yet. I'm heading back to the Majestic Aquariums to test this water, but all in all, I'm pretty impressed with that water quality. It's actually pretty good.